If you win, you manifested it. If you lose, you would spend so much time worrying about it that you would want it. And because you'd really want it in your mind, you would work harder than ever before to achieve it. Most of you do not use your mind for what it's for. You have forgotten how to imagine things. But you cannot close your eyes and vividly imagine. You can't give yourself goosebumps. You can't invoke emotion within yourselves. This is an age-old skill that human beings had very recently up till social media. You should be able to close your eyes and imagine the life you want to live so viscerally, to the point where you can taste it. So that this reality, which is outside of your mind, feels nothing but a prelude, a ramp, which allows you to get where you want to go. The mind is that powerful. If you ask any champions of anything, they have always imagined themselves as champions all of the time. The reason why they do that is 1, because they feel confident. 2, if they don't become champions, they're more angry, more motivated for the next attempt to ensure that they do become champion. So that's the mentality and the mindset that you have to have. Your mind is your #1 ally. A lot of you have been sabotaged internally by your own mind. Your own psyche is working against you. When you have negative thoughts that prevent you from being the best version of yourself, you should understand that your mind is attempting to betray you. And you should feel disgust because you have enough enemies. There are people in that opposing trends trying to destroy you. If you are listening to this and watching this, I promise you, if I were to give a button to most humans on this planet, if I were to go to an average 25-year-old man from an average income, if you press this button, this guy is going to die. I'll show a picture of you holding your dog. Whatever you're doing, I'll make you look cute. I'll make you look sweet and innocent. If you press this button, this guy dies, but you'll get $100 million. You do understand that 99% of the people will press that button, right? And they'll take that 100 million without remorse. They won't really think about you very much. And if they do, they will distract themselves with Lamborghinis and bitches. That's it. They won't care about you. There's enough people in the opposing trench ready to destroy you for self-interest, that the idea of you not having every single part of your side on your side is truthfully sad. You need to be in a better position than that. You cannot allow your own mind to betray you ever. It has to be 100% on your side all of the time. Once your mind is on side, once every part of your psyche is on your team, that's when you can go and look for other teammates. You can expand your network on other people whose psyche is 100% on their side. And you have a unified outlook of the world. Then you can go and get things done. But the idea of self-betrayal is something that most of you are struggling with and you didn't even realize. So as a thought experiment, we're gonna sit here. I want you to think about it. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you didn't do something you felt like you had to do? How many times has your mind tricked you into procrastination or being lazy? How many times has your mind convinced you that it was okay to fail and lose even though you didn't try your best? How many times have you sought comfort in excuses? How many times have you betrayed yourself? Don't worry about your enemies attempting to crush you. That's another conversation. If you actually analyze most of your failures, you're going to see that the majority of them come from self-sabotage. And once you're in a position where you never betray yourself, where your mind never lets you down, ever, my mind knew exactly what I had to do. Never miss a single day's training. I did not lose my mind. I did not go mental. I did not have a breakdown. I acted exactly how I was supposed to act, fully professional. This means in everything, I got as much work done as I possibly could. I was extremely productive. I used the experience for what it was. My mind never betrayed me. If you look back on most of your failures, you are going to see that it was your own mind that betrayed you. It wasn't your enemies that tricked you. It wasn't your enemies that outmaneuvered you. Most of you are not yet at a high level of echelon to even have enemies of caliber. You were simply self-betraying. Until you identify that pattern and make sure, get in the habit of ensuring that it is impossible, then you are always going to lose to people who are always going to believe in themselves. You know, one of the things that stupid people have that makes stupid people quite successful sometimes is irrational self-belief. The smarter you are, sometimes it's harder to irrationally believe in yourself. But if you are dumb enough, you can have this arrogance inside to be irrationally self-belief. And you can see some people successful and be like, how is this idiot successful? They're so stupid that they don't consider the idea of failure. Their mind isn't advanced enough. They're not cognitive enough to consider betray their own mind. They only see outside. They don't self-reflect. If you're smart enough to self-reflect, you need to come back with feedbacks so you can improve. But be very aware of the trouble that can come with the mind that's not on your side 100% of the time. My mind is 100% on my side always. If I have to do something difficult, even if my body can't do it, my mind believes I can do it all the time. You'd be amazed how much of life, even in the physical realm, is mental. If you believe you can run a marathon, you can run a marathon. If you believe you can't run a marathon, you can't run a marathon. Because a marathon is hard. And by believing in it, by truly your body will react differently. This is absolutely the same with all things, including making money, including the gym, including dealing with mental struggle. Anxiety is self-betrayal. Panic is self-betrayal. Procrastination is self-betrayal. Laziness is self-betrayal. Lacking motivation is self-betrayal. All of these things are self-betrayal. Most of you, your largest enemy on the planet today is yourself. You are the one who's destroying your own prospects because you don't have your own mind under control. And one of the crazy things about the world is your mind is the only thing that which you can control. You can't control anything else. You can only control your mind. It's the only thing which you have control over. So if you don't control it absolutely, you're going through life with absolutely zero control. You don't control your own mind, so by extension, you don't control your life, your woman. You don't control the weather. You don't control anything. You're just an empty vessel going through life with absolutely zero control over anything. You can control, once your mind is in check, your reaction and attitude to things. When you're in trenches, there's people who give up, there's people who quit, there's people who so FUD, there's people who feel sorry for themselves, there's people who want an easy way out. And there's people who say, listen, this is a test, and the only way to get through this is to be irrationally positive all of the time.
Well, what can I do about the price of Bitcoin?
Perhaps nothing, but the universe may reward you karmically if you do something positive. Go for a walk, go for a run, burn some calories. Why didn't you go walk down to the nearest grocery stores and buy groceries for an old grandma? How about that? Fine, you're unhappy that Bitcoin's gone down. Fine. What I recommend you do, although you may not understand this because you may not see them as linked, but karmically all things are linked inside of this universe. Go down to the old grocery store and buy some groceries for the old lady. That's what you should do to fix the Bitcoin price. Will that affect the price of Bitcoin? I don't know. It's amazing how this world works. Perhaps in the strange version of events, that slight delay in her thanking you and in her getting in the car ends up leading to an increased price of Bitcoin. Even if it doesn't, perhaps you'll learn something about not being so attached to money. Perhaps you'll be more grateful and realize that you had much more money than you thought. Perhaps your attitude to the world will change, which allow you to be more open-minded, so you look at things differently, which will allow you to make more money later on. Karmically, it's impossible for us to tangibly link how that positive reaction will lead us into something else positive in your life later on. We just have to have faith that it will. So when I said this to this guy, he's like, LOL, dude. That's his reply. He replied LOL when I said you should go buy groceries for someone else. And he didn't understand the world. And then I thought, why don't I go and speak to thousands of people and talk positive? Not to save him, just to put my money where my mouth is. That if you do something good, it is better than doing nothing. Rain dances work. If you want it to rain, you shouldn't just sit and pray. It's not raining. You shouldn't complain. You should get up and do a rain dance. You shouldn't sit and hope. You shouldn't sit and complain. Does a rain dance make clouds appear? No. You should take action. Perhaps your rain dance won't make clouds appear. It'll be viewed by a tribe in the mountain far away and realize that you guys need water. And maybe Providence and luck will have these tribes come with big barrels of water, saying, we think you might need some water and we have a spare. If you didn't rain dance, they wouldn't know. They would just see you sitting down being a mopey dipshit, crying his eyes out. This is why it's so important to take action in all things. Action solves all. Raw action is the answer. It is a mindset. So this dipshit complaining about the crypto price, he's not prepared to rain dance. He's not prepared to help a granny with her groceries. He's not prepared to do anything. God does not reward man that way. God rewards man who you have to go and get things. You have to show that you deserve them. Even in mating, men go get the woman. Men go make money. Men go take land. Men go. We go and happen to the world. The world doesn't happen to us. What did we say about earlier? If you always try your best, you'll always find the W even in an L. So I try my absolute best. I win. Raw action solves all. If you had that kind of attitude, you wouldn't be sitting and worrying about a crypto price. and crying like a dog, you'd be doing something about it. Oh, I need your help. Do you? I don't even see you trying, and that's how God sees the world. That's how, in fact, how most wealthy people view things. I haven't even seen you do anything that warrants me to do anything to give you a second of my help. People feel like rich people are horrible because they don't help the poor. Even if they try to help, most are beyond help because they are self-sabotaged and lazy. You have to show to the people in the world that you are not those things if you ever want to be taken seriously at all. That's the first thing you should do. God wants to see that you give a shit. He will only give money to those people who know how to rain dance. He will only give money to the people who believe pure action solves all. Pure action. He likes pure action. He likes people who say, I don't know what to do, but I'll do something. I don't know what to do, but I'll do something positive. I don't know how to make a Bitcoin grow up, but I'll buy an old lady groceries. I don't know what to do, but in action, in and of itself is action. And men of honor do not allow the universe to decide for them. They decide their faith, and you decide your faith by hard honor, hard work, and Vegas in all things. I would argue a lot of you probably heard about Bitcoin in 2007, or in 2009, or 2011, whatever. But you were so uninterested in doing your due diligence, so uninterested in being proactive that you just ignored it. You probably don't even remember being told about it because you didn't give a shit. And then you have the gall and audacity to say, if someone told me about Bitcoin back then, I would be rich. No, you wouldn't. If you're the type of person who would have gotten rich by Bitcoin back then, you're the type of person who can get rich right now by taking action, by being proactive. If you're not doing the right things right now, you would have never done the right things. And rectifying, identifying your failures, and identifying how many times right things you've missed out on is actually a hard goal. Oh no, I don't have the chances. You had the chances and wasted them. And you have the another chance right now to do your rain dance. You're sitting here right now and you have a chance. You have a chance from God. Because you're breathing, you have a chance right now to get things done. You can retrospectively look back during this period of time and go, oh yeah, I was young and energetic, but I wasted it. If only somebody had told me to try hard at this. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you about Bitcoin in 2009, but you're not going to do anything. It's most impressive how difficult it is to make the average person move. The average person is a statue getting shit on by the pigeons, and they rather sit there, get covered in shit rather than just move. It's very hard to inspire people to take initiative to save themselves. It's incredible. Why? When they know that it's gonna work, some people are just born to lose. These are people who have been betrayed by their own mind and can't even be influenced by the externals. Because they've been betrayed by their own mind. That's a devil on your soldier, constantly holding you back. When you watch old kung fu movies and you see a master, he has chi. I totally understand the danger of a man with endless chi, endless internal power that he can control into anything he wants it to be. Mental fortitude, physical fortitude, whether he's gonna enact it in an act. Chi is a super real thing and it's self-generated. It is a decision. I want you to understand how my mind works. My core principles are endless work, endless attack. That's how you win in the end. You never give up and you endlessly persevere. It's impossible to end a man who endlessly perseveres. Perseverance is the key. It is very easy to accept an L when you've tried your best. The reason why I don't like, well, as long as you tried your best, is because most people don't try their best. If you do try your best, it's very rare to fail. In fact, it's impossible. People say, well, if you tried your best, but the secret to the universe is that if you try your best, you hardly ever lose. It takes freak accident or the will of God to ensure that you try your best and you fail. If you actually try your best, and on a few scenarios that might happen, I'm happy to take the L. Because I can say I couldn't have tried any harder. I've done my absolute best. I know I did my best. I couldn't do any harder. And God knows more than me. And he decided that things have to be slightly different right now. That's fine. It's easy to take the L when you've tried your best. You never feel the bitter sting of regret. You never feel the dark rankness. You never taste failure. It's never in your mouth. It's never tangible because you approach the scenario with absolute vigor. Effort is a muscle like everything else. The more you exercise it, the better it gets. So even if you tried 100% of something and you failed, you exercise your effort muscle. which means you haven't failed. You've learned something and got better at giving effort to things. You become better at being concentrated on a task. It's nearly impossible to fail on these scenarios. A lot of sayings are overused. Never a failure, always a lesson. That's what's annoying about it, because it's true but rarely applicable. You guys will say never a failure, always a lesson when you haven't even tried. That's wrong. That's a failure. But if you absolutely tried your best, then it is a lesson, and there are benefits. It's like going for a PB in the gym. You may not get the PB, but your muscles will get stronger because you tried so hard. That's how every single task should be approached. I'm trying to lift as much as possible. Perhaps I will fail. Because I tried so hard, I strained so hard, my muscle ached and I got stronger anyways. Meaning I did not fail at the task of becoming stronger. There were tangible benefits of my effort in and of itself. Making things happen is the masculine essence to how you should approach the world. Work harder than ever before to become monumentally rewarded than ever before. It's also pleasing the universe and showing the world that you are prepared to concentrated calories. The calories you consume, you're prepared to put them into something. You're only going to be rewarded if you differ yourself from the crowd via effort. A lot of people don't know how to try anymore. But we are not like that. We know better. We know how to try. That's why we always endlessly win. You should feel genuinely worried about wasting a single second, because you can't let the winners keep dunking on you. I've spoken at length about how the world is getting harder and harder. This is easy to observe. Everybody knows it. There are people in the world who are going to try hard to change that dynamic because they don't believe they can ever be rich. They're gonna sit there and say, I don't want the rich to get richer and the poor to stay poorer because I am poor. And then there's people that say, I like it this way. I like the challenge. I like that the game is rigged because if I get rich, I get richer. That's how rich people think. Winners think, I have no problem the rich getting richer and poor getting poorer because I'm going to be the rich ones. Losers think, let's spread it all out. If you believe that the rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer, then you need to do whatever it takes to win the game. Just like a video game, the larger the difficulty, the higher the score. I mean, you should try every day anyways. But let's assume that you're the type of person who can't try every day because you don't have the grit and the consistency. If you're not gonna put your finger out right now and finally try in the next few days, when are you gonna try? When are better chances gonna come? Because they're actually right in front of you. This is a huge, important period in your life when it comes to your success and your finances. If you're not going to try right now, when are you gonna try?